Howdy banger pals, Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly Bangers monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. The way the show works is just every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch, I open up every single metal album releasing every single month, listen to them all, and that's how I can find 5 underground greats for you. So I got 5 amazing albums from bands you might not have heard of, but before that, just in a, MTV style, we always have a list of some of the big noteworthy releases coming out for you to keep an eye out. Maybe we're reviewing some of them, maybe we'll talk about more about them down the line, and maybe I'll just say a rude thing about them here. So, on May 2nd, which is, I guess, in the past now, Hate released Bellum Regius on Metal Blade, and my favorite punk band of all time, Propaganda, released At Peace on Epitaph. May 9th, Behemoth are releasing The Shit of God on Nuclear Blast. Ghostbath are releasing Rose Thorn Necklace on Nuclear Blast, and Dear God, Sleep Token are releasing Even in Arcadia on RCA. May 16th, you've got the Callous Dowboys releasing I Don't Want to See You in Heaven on MNRK Heavy, and Pelican are releasing Flickering Resonance on Run for Cover. May 23rd, Metal Monthly alumni Crust are releasing Where Light Fears to Descend on Moribund Records. Midnight are releasing a cool tribute to Cleveland on it's Midnight with Steel, Rust, and Disgust on Metal Blade. And then May 30th, you've got The Haunted releasing Songs of Last Resort on Century Media, and Rivers of Nile releasing Rivers of Nile on Metal Blade. Weird spot in your career for a self-titled, I'd say. Now on to the records I really care about. Up first, I'm jazzed to welcome back to the show Jade with Mysteries of a Flowery Dream on Pulverised Records, coming out May 9th. These guys are Catalonian Atmospheric Death, and we've got a pretty special Adam Burke on the cover. I mean, all Adam Burkes are nice, but I feel like he's doing a lot of covers lately, and he's saving the real juice gooses for the best records. So, spoiler, this month we have 2 Metal Monthly alums making a second appearance, but it's because they're 2 of my faves from over the years that are a little niche, and so I just can't help but put them in. Atmospheric black metal is my favorite type of metal, of the, bigger metals. Obviously, Death 2 is my favorite, but we don't need to get into that right now. So, when someone takes the atmospheric vibe of that and slaps on death metal, well, that makes something very much for the Blaynes now, doesn't it? Especially when production is done this well. When making an atmospheric record, it's almost more important how the record sounds than what you're actually playing, and I would not change a thing about how this thing sounds. The guitar tone is perfect, the drums don't overpower it, and I love the way the non-growl vocals come from hey, over here, whoa, let's go. Anyways, but because this is a death metal record, the band is also playing cool shit underneath the sound of the record, especially when we get a wild looping solo. Normally, atmospheric is more comfortable sitting in the haze and chilling like a ninja that threw a smoke bomb but then doesn't go anywhere. But Jade are constantly moving, keeping you engaged, doing cool spin kicks and stuff. So, big recommend on the Jade record. Up next, we've got the second of the returning faves, and then we've got this is a pretty diverse Metal Monthly. The first 2 you're gonna be like, this is normal Blayne, but then we got some curveballs. So up first, Hellcrash Inferno Crematörio, Dying Victims Productions, coming out May 23rd. After Italian black and speed metal, we have another incredibly sick cover by incredibly Italian named man Samuel Scalisi that we can actually, post uncensored this time because their last cover was hilarious and wild. Look it up on your own time. If I post it, YouTube will be furious. So, black and speed metal might seem a little less niche than Jade, but while the genre has had a big boom due to the success of greats like Midnight and Hellripper, this style of that style is what I'm always hoping for. The style, and I promise that's the last time I'll say that word, I'm looking for is actually sounding like they're losing it. And boy howdy do Hellcrash sound like they are about to fall apart. Like they might collapse into a drunken heap at any time, just like golden era Sodom alcohol issues. But I guess they're illusionists or something, because they managed to give that vibe, but are actually a really tight act, at least on record. As always, I need to do an old tip of the hat when any record has bass this wicked, especially a black and speed record. It's frequently a straight up show stealer, which is not bass's job. And this is some capital S speed metal. The pace at which a lot of these songs come at you really solidify just how cool they are. The name, the logo, album cover, all gets this bonus hit of Ratitude because they really are that boy. They are going at all times. Now, stepping out of the old Blayne wheelhouse, it's Chepang with Jhyappa, Relapse Records, May 23rd. I tried. Oh boy, it's honest to goodness grindcore, originally from Nepal, now based in New York City. Can you believe it? Straight up grindcore record in Metal Monthly, no genre slash or verbiage before the word grindcore. So how did this record appeal to a non-grind main like myself? Well, two reasons. Since grind sort of sits between punk and metal, a band can tip to one side more than the other while still staying firmly in the genre, and Chepang definitely tilt heavily towards the metal side of the genre with just a heavy, smothering, chugging sound. Second, you know I love a cool hook. I love a band that's got a hook, and boy howdy do they have a sharp, pointy one stuck in my Chepang self-dubbed their style of music grindcore because they are originally from Nepal. They sing in Nepali, and their genre mandatory samples are all in Nepali as well, but they're also longtime NYC residents, so it's just a cool melting pot record of cultures and styles. And as someone that lives in as someone that lives in Toronto, which is like the immigrant capital of the world, and who loves living in a place like that, it's a vibe and a sound that I dig. Sounds very familiar to me. I can't imagine living in a place where I can't go get some momos whenever the hell I want. So big thumbs up to immigration, big thumbs up to this record, and big thumbs up to the fact that the band's called Chepang. So when I'm excited about the record, I can go, Chepang, Chepangs, she moves, she moves. It sounds like She Bangs by Ricky Martin. Moving on to keep our curveballs coming, it's Grin, Acid Gods on TLD Records, May 30th. Look at that German stoner doom slash sludge. Look, we're hitting all the genres today. Very tattoo shop wall cover by Dawid M. Piprick. Anyways, why the hell are stoner doom bands always husband and wife duos? I mean, you love to see great spousal bonds, I guess, so rock on. But it's just, what is it about this genre where it's like, should we have kids? no, let's have a band instead. Now, normally, yes, my reaction to Stoner is a lot like my reaction to, I don't know, say, Tool. My brother in Christ, you've been playing the same thing for 95 minutes. I'm gone. Quick aside, nothing funnier than Tool fans trying to get a class action lawsuit going for the band playing the same song in 2 sets at that fest. Hey, every Tool set ever is the same song, dudes. Anyways, first, apologies to Grin that my endorsement of their record has just been shit-talking so far. So let's talk about why Grin is cool. Well, this is the first Grin record I've caught, and I love the way they've managed to grab some of the great sounds of other sludge acts like Melvins and Mastodon, who are obviously all-time genre greats, but instead of just imitating them, though, they've added more metal heaviness to those sounds, and as someone who feels the more metal, the better, that's obviously going to be a shortcut to the old cockles of my heart. While cranking up the metal dial, they also don't seem to mind the needle on the old speedometer going up, and they're a stoner band who knows how to edit. What the hell? What's going on here? Hallelujah. 10 songs, 37 minutes. They show you a good idea and go, cool, and then move on to more cool ideas instead of being like, no, man, you gotta ponder the idea for 45 minutes. Lot of ideas on this record. They're all good. This episode of Metal Monthly has been brought to you by Jimmy's Coffee. I got one more business behind me that I can point to for a gag, but really it's brought to you by you, because we have a Patreon campaign. You toss us a couple of bucks, and then we don't have to put any ads here, and we've been cranking out content over there. We've been putting a lot of banger classic stuff, full feature documentaries, bonus content from those interviews, stuff from the vault. There's a ton of stuff going on up there. So if you toss us a couple bucks, thanks. If you can't, just, like, comment, and subscribe. Usual YouTube diatribe. Thus, we come to our Pallet Cleanse of the month, rounding out all the metal food groups. We had a bit of death, a bit of black, a bit of thrash, a bit of doom, and now a lot of heavy metal. It's Animalize, Verminateur, Dying Victims Productions, coming out May 23rd.
À genoux sur le sol, car tu demeures. D'aller quand tes rêves finissent ensemble. D'aller là où se figent les heures tendres. D'aller, nul ne pourra te sauver. D'aller, seul tu t'en sortiras.
These guys are French heavy metal by way of like glam, shock, and the album cover has definitely trended upwards. I don't know what they're thinking on that last one. I did love that record though, but it was completely nuts from the cover to the internals. On this record, they are still crazy, but they've got on some good meds and they're managing. It's very rare to find a band where every member is constantly contributing some wild shit to the track. Ripping little bass ditties, great riffs, the rad all-in-French vocals that can cross into just rap god territory with the amount of words coming out at that speed, and goddamn the cowbell. I think at some point in my life I thought cowbell was lame, and I don't know who that idiot is. Please wail on this thing as much as you want. It puts a smile on my face every time. I like that we're kind of getting a bit of glam and shock rock coming back, but it's being done by a lot more different countries, so you're getting a little foreign flavor added to it. Like, this record sounds distinctly French, but they're playing a style that's more American, and it's nice to have something familiar and different. Plus, they've always got a katana, and I'm weeb trash, so hey, yeah, bring out a katana and we're gonna party. Hey, speaking of partying, that's been the party. That's been Metal Monthly. So, hey, thanks for coming out. Let me know in the comments, what records are you excited about? Which ones did you like? Which ones did you vibe with? Sorry there wasn't 10 records this month, but I got to keep that as a special treat for you when it really matters. But I will have 5 more records up for you on the Patreon, because it is still a month packed with greats. Bye, gang.